Yes, I can. Wow,
Um,
very cool.
so it's up, but it's like the struggle is that I'm still reminding them a lot, like at
Yeah.
the beginning of every class session. But I do have a few students who like are turning it on
Okay.
without being asked now.
Okay.
Um, and I'm hoping that continues to grow.
Yeah.
Um,
So before, even if you would ask them, they would just kind of ignore and not turn it on.
well, before I was asking the class as a whole,
Uh,
um,
yes.
and I would sometimes follow up with individual students, like especially if I didn't think they were at their desk.
Right.
Um, but I wasn't doing it like every session every day.
Yeah.
So this week I've been doing it every session every day, and it seems to have helped. Some of the students who don't have their webcams on, like I know they have tech issues,
Hmm.
like it's on, but the screen is black. Um,
Got it.
and like I've kind of been working with them, like they're students who I think would have it on if they could.
Yes.
Um, and other students still just like are either very, very shy, so I'm not really pushing them,
Right.
um, or they're just not still. I'm pretty sure a few are still not at the computer. Like I think I
Yeah.
have like two kids who just join
Are
class and then tune it out.
right. Now, even if they're not sharing their camera, are they like participating as in like sharing verbally or doing anything, chat wise or anything like that?
Yeah, so my shy kids usually use the chat.
Okay.
They usually don't want to use the mic if they're not webcam kids either.
Okay.
Um, so like those kids, I'm not pushing quite as hard.
Yeah.
Like I am trying to teach them like, okay, you can show it just to me, like your
Right.
classmates don't have to see it. But like I said, depending on the student, I'm not pushing, especially I have some like IEP kiddos who like
Yeah.
I just don't want to push them
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
Um, but as long as they're participating and like doing
Yep.
classwork, like I'm not really pushing. The kids who I'm really pushing on and like emailing students and families are the ones who don't have their webcams on, aren't using the mic, aren't using the chat,
Right.
aren't joining the Blickets, aren't doing the worksheets. Like those are the kids that I'm concerned just
Really
aren't
pressing
really
on. Yeah.
exactly.
Well, and it's good that you have multiple forms of communication for them to participate, those ones who are uncomfortable with the screen or sharing their voice, that they can chat with you or communicate in other ways. So that's good.
Hmm.
So how has the reaching out to families been?
Um, I haven't really gotten responses. Like
Okay,
usually I'll email a student and copy their family, um,
got it.
just so that the student is looped in.
Hmm.
Um, but the ones I've been emailing are the ones who, like, like I said, aren't really participating anyway, and I'm not
Right,
sure how involved their learning coaches are.
right.
But everyone during the conferences, everyone is like, yeah, we'll work on it. Like, we'll
Yes,
get the webcams on. It just
yes,
seems like there hasn't been follow up with some of those kids, like in actually doing it.
right. So when you send the email, you've been sending it weekly, right, for these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Was your email, do you have that email? You were going to use it as evidence, right?
Yes. I think I got some stuff uploaded. Um, let me see.
I can take a look too. I was just wondering if your email, did it warrant like a response, or was it like kind of something that was just really a reminder?
It's more of a reminder.
Okay.
Um, let's see. I'm not used to Zoom and how I share a different screen. Let's see.
Okay, I see. Okay, that's your growth. So that's what's uploaded right now. Oh, perfect.
Yes.
I know say perfect. Uh-oh.
It might be sharing now.
Yes,
I'm
I can
definitely
see
not
now.
as Zoom savvy. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, it's not really a response one.
Yeah.
Sometimes like if I really need a response on something, I'll put like please respond in the subject line.
Yep.
But this is more of a reminder.
Yeah. It's just that constant reminder for them as well and I like that you loop the kid in.
Yeah.
The students so that they are getting it and they know that their parent or their learning coach is getting it as well. Yeah, and you have your contact info on there. I like that you include the link for the tech issue. just in case if there is something, that's good. So they're
Mhm.
getting that weekly too.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
usually do. Whenever I do email families, like I usually try to include the student,
yeah,
just because like I tend to get better responses from students than I do from families.
right.
And it's like I feel like as they're getting older, and
Hmm.
especially if they're going to stay at our school, like it's important for them to like take responsibility for their own learning.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that. That's great. Okay, let's head back to your data and let's take a
Okay.
look. Okay. So 19% growth. So your only, little issue that you have is that you are still asking them or reminding them at the beginning of each class, but they are turning it on.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I probably have like 4 or 5 kids who like I have to ask every session,
Okay. And
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 they
they
will
turn
turn
it
it
on and then
on.
they're there. They're present.
Yeah, then they keep it on for the rest of class, but then come the next class, they don't turn
Yeah.
it on again.
Yeah. So what do you think would be some next steps for them? Like how do you think we could get them to just turn it on before you remind them?
Um, what I started doing today, was just going into their tables and talking
Oh,
to them about keeping it on, like one on
okay.
one.
Yeah.
Um, because they're turning it on when I send them a chat message
Got
for
it.
these kids, but like they're not keeping it on.
Yeah.
And some kids will go to their table and they still don't respond. But for
Mm-hmm.
the kids, like when I send them a chat message, if they turn on their webcam, I usually don't follow up with them one on
Mm-hmm.
one.
Right.
But today I was trying to like go to their table and say, hey, just checking in. And by the way, let's turn on your webcam and keep it on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you need to turn it on right when you get into class. You shouldn't need reminders.
Yeah.
I
So
think
doing
I'll have
that,
to,
like
mhm,
pulling, it's almost like pulling them aside in the classroom and having a little chat
exactly.
with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And then you can see if that helps. And maybe like when they come into your class, do they see you? Like when they come in, is it you that they see, or do they get to see like a screen and you have some stuff on there for them?
Um, so they usually see like my shared screen, but
Okay.
then I'm like up in the top right corner,
Mm-hmm.
like just like a little video of me, but the
Yeah.
main screen.
Yeah.
Um, they could click over to instructor video and I would be big on the screen, but I don't think most kids do
Right.
that.
Right. So they see whatever you have on your shared screen. So is it usually like welcome to class today or whatever?
Yeah, yeah, it's just like, reminder that we record, class expectations, like just the
Got it.
basic stuff like that.
Got it. And do you, in your class expectations, is it like screen on?
That is, let me see. I got out of my drive. It's usually like a couple slides in, just because
Mhm.
it's a whole lot to try to squeeze in.
On one slide, yeah.
Yeah. I can't figure out how to get it up with sharing my screen. But usually like we'll do the basic class expectations, which are like be safe, be kind, be on task,
Mhm.
I think.
Mhm.
Um, and then we'll go over our school expectations, and then the third screen is like a webcam reminder.
Oh, so you are doing that at the beginning of each class, you are showing them and telling them.
Yeah, yeah. It's just not on my very first screen.
Got it.
I kind of like spread it out just because it's
Yeah,
like some teachers put everything on one screen, but I always find
it's
that
a
like
lot.
overwhelming.
Hmm.
Yeah, like there's just too much going on.
Yeah. So even after that, they still don't turn it on, and then you have to message them.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. How can we get them? That's it's probably going to be, your next steps is how do we get them to turn it on right away?
Hmm.
And what are your thoughts on your kiddos who aren't turning it on at all? What's the
Hmm.
next steps for them?
That next step is probably going to be like a response required email, like to
Yes. Okay.
families.
Hmm.
Um, so instead of it just being a reminder, more of like a hey, I'm very concerned, like their webcam isn't on.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I talk to them, they don't respond. Like I'm just want to make sure they're, fully participating in their learning.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Good. Well, I mean, 19% growth is great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Have you noticed like changes in their participation as well, those students who weren't turning them on? who now are like, and maybe quality of work or amount of work being done? Do you notice any changes there?
It does seem like they do participate more when the webcam's on. Um, like it does vary by kid, but I've definitely
Yeah.
noticed more participation. I don't know that their work is higher quality, but I've just
Okay.
noticed that, they join the Blicket more often, they go
Yeah.
right into our worksheet platform more often.
Yeah.
Um, they're just more on top of things. Like I think it just keeps them more accountable.
Right. Yeah, because they know that you can see what they're right, what they're doing. So
Hmm.
they're listening and they're following along, going to those things, getting on the Blickets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's huge. And you know what you need to do for your next steps.